D2 Word Life here with Rip, not Big Dick Johnson Tides.
No. It's D2 Small, jealous of the Johnson.
Yeah, bullshit. We all know.
See,
Big
everyone,
Dick.
he admits it. He's jealous of the Johnson.
Hell, bullshit. Hell no to that. We all know Big Dick Johnson's your boy.
That's because he has a tiny Johnson sausage.
We all know Big Dick Johnson's your boy. As a matter of fact, when he appeared on this show, you were like, let's get to business.
No, that was you.
You were probably wearing the shirt, too.
Yep. I'm wearing my Stone Cold Steve Austin 316 shirt.
Uh-huh. But anyway.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. But anyway. Today we are reviewing Armageddon 2006, which took place on December 17, 2006 in Richmond, Virginia at the Richmond Coliseum. With an attendance of 8,200, and this was a SmackDown branded pay-per-view back when the brand split was an actual thing that was taken seriously, and the commentators for the show was JBL and your boy Michael Cole.
No, he's your boy, Michael Cole.
Yeah. This show is remembered for two big matches, and we'll get to those two in a minute.
Well, one of them was right now.
Well, we'll get to that one literally in like a minute. But anyway, shout out to the dark match that happened prior to the show. Starting that was Vladimir Kozlov, who was still in development at that point, defeating Scotty 2 Hotty in a singles match. I was surprised to find out that Scotty 2 Hotty still worked for the company at that point.
Yeah.
Reading that, I'm like, okay. I thought he got released around 2005, but I guess he was there a year longer.
It was there 2 years longer.
Yep. Anyway, the show started with the opening hype package, hyping up the Inferno match, the Last Ride match, and the tag team main event matches. And then we get introduced to the crowd, the arena, everything's there. And then the first match on the card was the Inferno match, which they hyped as a main event. Sorry, the main event is the last match on the card. All right, you can't fool me with three main events.
Versus the Big Red Monster Kane.
Yeah, you can't fool me with three main events or two main events. There's one main event, but this one was a big marquee match. It was the Inferno match, like you mentioned, with Kane and MVP. And right before the match, after MVP's entrance, they did the whole video rivalry package between the two that set up this whole match to start with. And I believe this was the second of only 3 Inferno matches on pay-per-view with a grand total of like 5 or 6 total.
There was 4 total at this point in time.
Two of them took place
Inferno matches in WWE.
Yeah, at this point. I'm talking about, one later on that we all know about that one. And this was a 4th Inferno match, the 4th one out of, I believe, 5, and the second one to take place on pay-per-view. We already covered the first one during the Unforgiven review a few weeks ago at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after this, they wouldn't have an Inferno match again for another 14 years until the Firefly Inferno match, which we'll get to that one when we review that event.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and for those wondering, no, I do not count the Ring of Fire match from the 2013 SummerSlam, because that match was won by pin or submission. We'll probably cover that one too at some point. All right. Anyway, the match started off with MVP trying to get out of the ring, only for the Flames to start shooting up, signifying you can't leave. And then the bell rang, right?
Yep.
And then MVP just kept running around until he got caught with an uppercut from Kane, followed by a backdrop, which sent the flames shooting up everywhere. Feels like deja vu. We just discussed something like this a couple weeks back.
Well, they also had everyone move back, I think like 10 fucking feet or something like that.
Yeah.
So the fucking audience didn't get fucking caught up in the fucking shit like they almost did last time they did it.
Yep. In other words, they didn't want anyone's chocolate melting in their pockets. Anyway.
They didn't want people to become burnt crispy.
Exactly. Yeah, and then MVP tried. It's like MVP tried to mount a comeback and caught him, but Kane caught him in the wheelbarrow carry position at one point, which MVP in that position managed to get to the friggin' turnbuckle, inching closer and closer to the flames, which Kane freaking reversed, which Kane then slammed MVP face first down into the ring mat from that position in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then Kane managed to battle back and actually got to the top rope. Either that or Kane put him on the top rope. But either way, freaking MVP hit a cross body to Kane, sitting in the flames shooting everywhere, which I thought was impressive. Visual-wise.
Well, MVP climbed up to the top of the ropes the first time and almost got scorched when he jumped.
Yes.
Yeah. He even said that in an interview after that match that his leg hair got scorched.
Yeah. When he went up there. And of course, MVP did manage to keep on offense just for a tiny bit by having Kane up in the corner, and MVP actually managed to hit a boot to Kane in the corner, keeping the advantage just for a little bit. Right?
Yeah, but it was mostly one-sided beatdown by Kane.
Yeah, but at least MVP managed to go down swinging a bit when he could. But then Kane didn't manage.
Kane literally set his ass up on the fucking top rope and then pushed his ass off.
Yeah, but we'll get to that part when we get to it. It's like Kane didn't manage to take any freaking offense that MVP had and just took it away by hitting freaking MVP with that big boot followed by a choke slam in the ring. Following this, Kane decides, I'm going to be creative in this match. So Kane removed the turnbuckle pad and set it on fire and attempted to use it as a weapon to burn MVP, only for MVP to counter.
Just for this match, it needed more violence.
Yeah, but then MVP...
It needed more substance.
Yeah, but MVP almost landed on... during an offensive move, MVP almost landed on the freaking, like, turnbuckle pad that was set on fire, too, at one point.
Yeah.
Until they're kicked out of the ring, referees got rid of it. Right?
No, there was no ref in the ring. The MVP literally tossed the turnbuckle outside of the ring, and it extinguished itself.
Yeah, he just tossed out of the ring and goes, screw that. Right?
Yes. You think they're gonna have a fucking ref inside the fucking ring when it's on fire? Hell no.
Well, I wouldn't sign up for that. Well, then again, I wouldn't sign up for an Inferno match. Period.
I would.
Of course you would. They'd probably tell you you're the one being burned. And of course, shortly after that, Kane managed to freaking get the advantage again with a clothesline to MVP, followed by left and right to MVP in the corner. Right. Yeah, and then Kane did his signature 2 clotheslines in the corner, followed by a sidewalk slam to MVP. At this point, it was mostly one-sided. Of course, MVP tried to fight back in the corner, but Kane no-selled it, kind of like you on 2K.
Go fuck yourself.
Only for MVP to climb the top rope to do an offensive move. Only for Kane to push MVP to the outside, like you stated earlier.
Yes.
And then the big question would be, okay, how is Kane going to get to the outside of the ring? And then Kane thought about it and he goes, "Oh, I know. How about I hit a flying clothesline to him on the outside of the ring?" Which is exactly what he did.
He said, "Fuck it, I'm going for it."
Exactly. All right. And then these two were bowling on these two are now on the outside where Kane hit MVP with another big boot, right?
Yep.
Which prompted MVP to go underneath the ring probably to prepare himself for the end, right? Because you don't want to literally...
He was trying to escape.
Well, he was trying to escape, supposedly, but he was also preparing himself, probably. Of course, then Kane just drags him out from underneath the ring, and then he freaking drags MVP up to the steel steps, grabs MVP by the neck, and slowly pushes MVP into the flame, setting MVP's ass and back on fire.
Yes, and MVP ran like his head was cut off, like a chicken with his head's cut off.
Exactly. So,
or should I say a chicken with its body burnt?
Yeah, so freaking MVP freaking just ran around the ringside in a panic, on fire, by the way, until he pretty much collapses right there on the entrance ramp where his referees put him out, and then Kane was declared the winner.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this Inferno match?
Needed more violence.
Yeah, when it comes to speaking of violence, we'll be getting that later. in the other match this pay-per-view is known for.
Needed more violence.
Oh yeah, never mind. Speaking of violence, we'll be getting it here shortly. One that was so violent it got out of hand in a spot that wasn't even supposed to happen. And we'll get to that here in a minute. I thought the match was a definite good way to kick off the show. It got people into wanting to see the rest of the card for dang sure. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was one of the best openers I've seen recently. One of the better openers I've seen recently during this review podcast here.
No.
Of course, backstage, then we had to go to backstage where Teddy Long was with the Divas announcing the whole Santa's Little Helpers fucking lingerie bullshit contest.
Naughty and nice.
Well, whatever. I hated that match, and yeah, I'll get to have fun with it later, if you even want to call it a match.
It wasn't even a match, it's a segment. It was just a lingerie contest. It was no match, no nothing. It's just a segment to segue into the main event.
It's like, yeah, whatever, but I still had to treat it like a review fucking type shit because it was there.
He did it to give the audience a nice treat for Christmas.
Yeah, all it made me do was regretting ever starting this series. I'm just fucking...
That's it. Okay, I'll make you regret this series.
Oh, God. It's like, oh, God, you make me watch that. I think I'd rather watch that lingerie contest again. On an endless loop. No, I'd rather watch the best Boogeyman WWE matches than what you're thinking of. And by the way, before we continue, by the way, yes, I know next week is your pick week, and God damn it, I'm fucking scared. Because whatever you choose, there ain't no stopping that.
Nope, there ain't no stopping me now.
Okay, Shelton. But just remember, I have ways to get revenge.
And I have ways of getting revenge on revenge on revenge on revenge.
We're going to go back. Well, I don't want to go back in that line of shitty matches. I thought we were done with that. Well, we're just taking a break? Because October was Halloween month? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
But anyway, the next match, yeah. The next match was originally supposed to be London and Kendrick defending the tag team championships against Dave Taylor and William Regal in a regular tag match. But after the two teams came out, Theodore Long came out and said, you know what? I got a special treat for you. This match will be a ladder match. Because he was in the holiday giving spirit. Oh,
Yeah.
and there will be 2 more teams in this match too, making it a fatal 4-way ladder match. Which the 2 other teams were revealed to be M&M and the Hardys.
Yep.
And I'm just thinking to myself, because everyone knows what's coming, and I was just thinking to myself, well, this is another reason why Armageddon '06 was remembered, but not for the positive way.
Well, also, I forgot to say that JBL was sucking the MVP copiism.
Yeah, just like his partner, freaking goddamn Michael Cole would years later for The Miz.
Yes.
But anyway, the match started with all 8 men brawling on the inside and the outside of the ring. There were so many spots here I couldn't keep track of them all, so I got down most of what I could.
You forgot to say the other 2 teams.
I did say the other 2 teams were M&M and the Hardys.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. You just weren't paying attention. But anyway, one spot before the ladders were introduced was a jawbreaker from Jeff to London, followed by a double backdrop to London from the Hardys themselves. You know, like one of those double team flip backdrop they do.
Yep.
I don't even know what the hell the name of that double team move is. That's why I just said double backdrop. Done. Could be the alley-oop slam. I don't give a crap. It's, you know what move I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And of course, shortly after that, there was Regal actually came in and hit an overhead throw to London. That looked pretty vicious.
Well, I know when Matt Hardy goes on his hands and knees and Jeff runs and jumps off his back, it's called the poetry in motion.
Yeah, I know that for dang sure, and they hit a couple of those.
Yeah.
Of course, the Hardys tried to bring the ladders to the ring, which Regal and Taylor stopped them from doing so, but the Hardys managed to get the ladders into the ring anyway. And then Matt promptly uses the ladder to take Regal and Taylor out, right? Smacking them with it. Smacking him with it. Of course, when Taylor was down, Matt actually got Taylor up in the corner, and that's when Jeff hit the poetry in motion to Dave Taylor here.
Yeah.
And of course, Dave Taylor, because shortly after that, after he suffers that poetry motion, got a snapshot done to him by Eminem. And I'm just like, you can't catch a break in this match, can he, in the early going? Right? And then there was a double and then shortly after that, there was a double super kick to Regal from London and Kendrick as well, taking both Regal and Taylor out for the time being.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and to make sure freaking Regal was permanently out, Matt Hardy ended up hitting that elbow drop off the top rope to Regal as well. So, yeah, he got the double deuces like freaking Dave Taylor did.
Yep.
Yeah, and then...
I think this would be Dave Taylor and William Regal's only match together.
Well, I don't know if it's only match together, but it's the only match I recall them having on pay-per-view at this time. Right. There could be more. I could be wrong, but I think they were predominantly a tag team on SmackDown for the most part on television. Right. I could be wrong, though. Right.
I don't know, because I think it was their only time that they were together.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway, shortly after Regal was taken out, Jeff Hardy took a ladder and just yeeted it at Kendrick's face. Thus, Kendrick ate the ladder, right? Followed by a drop kick to London from Jeff as well, putting them temporarily down.
Yeah.
And while they were temporarily down, Jeff actually stabbed the ladder and attempted to climb it, only to be stopped by London.
Yep.
And then Mercury took out both Hardys with the ladder shortly after that, only before climbing the ladder, only be knocked off by both Hardys and London and Kendrick.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, Mercury has some balls here for doing that. Trying to climb up there. Yeah, and then London and Kendrick then were both whipped into a ladder in the corner, respectively. Like, I think there was 2 ladders set up or 1 ladder set up, and it was 1 ladder set up, and they were both whipped into it by the Hardys.
Yeah.
And of course, London was freaking propped up against the ladder in the corner while the Hardys attempted to do another poetry in motion onto London, only for London to get out of the way, and Jeff hit the ladder in the corner instead.
Jeff ate shit.
So yeah, Jeff ate shit, right?
Yep.
And then London and Kendrick went on the double team on Matt by hitting a double back body drop to him. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and then shortly afterwards, Kendrick decided to try to climb the ladder and retrieve the championships, but before he could, Matt prevented Kendrick from doing so when he knocked him off the ladder before he could even get the belts.
Yeah.
So the match continues. Right.
Yep.
Remember, the movie starts at 7, so you gotta be out of here around about 5 months.
Yeah, and then while that was going on the outside, freaking Regal got hit with a vertical suplex from Nitro. At the same time, the whole like action we just spoke about happened in the ring.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that looked like a nasty bump to take.
Yep.
But we're gonna be talking about a nasty bump to take literally within like a few moments. Of course, when Matt was down, Kendrick stomped on Matt's chest, who was lying on a ladder that was being held on the middle rope by Kendrick, or by London. That looked like it hurt, right?
Yeah.
Of course, Eminem came back in the ring. Mercury and Nitro both came back in the ring to take control of the situation. And Mercury and Nitro both constructed a ladder catapult. You see where this is going, right?
Oh, everyone could see where this is going.
And what they don't, and for people who don't know, a ladder catapult is when they set a ladder on its side and then set up another ladder on top of that. And if one superstar or person jumps on the end of a ladder, on one or the other end goes shooting upwards. Yeah, that's what I mean by ladder catapult.
It's more brutal than you guys think it is.
It's like, and both members of Eminem attempted to suplex Joff off the top rope into this ladder catapult that was constructed out of 2 ladders, only to be stopped by Matt. And then Matt was holding both Mercury and Nitro in place of the legs of the ladder that was to be jumped on.
He was holding him doing that double head knocker.
Yes, to do a double head knocker with a ladder. Jeff jumped off the top rope, hit the end of the ladder, and the ladder shot up into both Nitro and Mercury's faces. And then we see the aftermath.
Yep.
Mercury's face was legit fucked up because, he ended up breaking his nose and breaking his eye socket and fucking up his jaw to where he was bleeding profusely, obviously.
Yep.
Thus, that's why he had that face injury that he did at that point. And the injuries that Mercury sustained on his face here was so bad that he was taken out of the match for obvious reasons.
Well, he had a busted up freaking nose, busted eye where it literally swelled shut. His nose was bleeding profusely during the entire match. They had to literally get him out of there for his safety reasons.
I mean, he was just gashing out of his face everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked bad. You knew that was legit. You know for a fact that fucking wasn't planned at all.
Yeah, no, that was a whole accident.
But after they got Mercury out of there, the match continued, but everyone wasn't shocked at what they just saw. Right?
Yep.
But anyway, to get the match back to where it needed to be, freaking Regal and Taylor ended up setting up ladders on the opposite corners, like I kind of maybe alluded to earlier.
Yeah.
to try to set up for the next big spots here. Then Regal suplexed freaking London into a ladder face first in the corner, right?
Yep.
That gross. And then with a ladder that was set up in the middle of the ring, Regal began climbing slowly up the ladder. Then he was like, "Nope, fuck that shit," and he told Taylor to do it.
Well, they were both scared of heights.
Yeah. So yeah, they were both scared of heights. So I'm like, okay, they ain't gonna win. They're afraid of heights. And of course, in all that, freaking Matt came back in and hit a reverse neck breaker on the Taylor. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jeff set up another ladder on the outside and attempted a Swanton bomb onto Regal and Taylor. Onto Taylor in the ring, only for Nitro to kick the ladder out, sending Jeff to the top rope after being whipped to the floor.
Johnny Nitro or John
Morrison, Johnny Nitro. It's the same person.
Johnny Nitro, John Morrison, Johnny Impact. Whatever he goes by, he was literally...
So yeah, he pushed the ladder that Jeff Hardy was on the outside.
He dropped it.
Yep.
Got hit by the ropes and got hung up on the ropes as well.
Yeah.
And that kind of made it even worse because when Jeff Hardy got knocked off the ladder, he freaking hit that rope and it was moving and he hit his throat on it, and I'm like, oh!
That looked bad. That looked like a nasty fall.
Not as worse than nasty, dude. That's fucking, dude. Those ropes are that's just freaking rubber over metal, fucking ropes.
Yep. I mean, not as nasty as what we seen how it happened to Mercury, but nasty enough, messed up enough. They give you serious whiplash, concussion, all that shit, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the Nitro came in and splashed Regal with a ladder from the top rope because he had the ladder in his hand. He came down onto Regal with it. Doing the old Shawn Michaels 1994 WrestleMania 10 spot with it. That's pretty much what he's did. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, the Nitro attempted to climb the ladder to grab the championships, only to be stopped by London and Kendrick, with London scoring a drop kick on Nitro. And everyone was thinking it'd be a miracle if Nitro wins this thing single-handedly, knowing his partner's gone for obvious reasons. Right?
Yeah.
Which obviously that wasn't. That didn't come to be, but still duly noted. Yeah, and then shortly afterwards, Matt had a back body drop on the London, which sent both men crashing off the ladder. Matt was on top of the ladder at that point, fighting with London as well.
Yeah.
And then Jeff freaking came back in and managed to get on the ladder and hit a sunset powerbomb on the Nitro off the ladder. And then
put in your petticoat.
Yeah, and then Regal and Taylor came back in with a double team to Matt, resulting in Regal hitting Matt to the knee with a knee to the head when Matt was up on Taylor's shoulders.
Yep.
And of course, while everyone was out, Regal attempted to grab the championships this time on the top of the ladder, only for Kendrick to knock Regal off the ladder, sending him crashing down.
Yep.
And then near the end of the match, freaking Matt Hardy and Paul London brawl on the top of the ladder. We didn't know who would have the advantage, which resulted in the end resulted in London punching Matt down off the ladder. And then London would go and pull the championships down to win the match.
Well, he didn't really punch him down. He just kept hitting him and then figured, I'm just going to let him fall.
Well,
and then he's like, he's done. He's kind of knocked out. I'm just going to let him fall. And he fell and he just grabbed the title because
Taylor and Regal were actually
Johnny
getting on.
Nitro was going up to grab the title from him.
While Regal and Taylor were also up at the same time.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm grabbing them, trying to get in there. By the way, the winners of this ladder match were London and Kendrick, who retained the tag team championships here. Your thoughts on this four-way ladder match?
Well,
besides the scary part with Mercury here.
It's the new High Flyers versus the original High Flyers, which was the Hardys.
Yeah, and I know when people think of this four-way ladder match from Armageddon here, they think of the Joey Mercury's face incident only, but beyond that, it doesn't take away that this was actually a hard-hitting, high-risk ladder match in its own right.
Yeah.
But either way, freaking, it doesn't matter if they're a person's a face or a heel. You never want to see someone get badly injured like that. Does that make sense? But anyway, after the I thought it was an alright crash. I thought it looked like an insane car crash. Right?
Yeah, you couldn't look away.
Exactly. It's like, well, it's like that you shouldn't look at, but you can't look away either. Right?
Yep.
Of course, after the match, we go backstage where Crystal was showing off her lingerie and getting ready for that contest, whatever you want to call it.
Contest.
And then we go to possibly your favorite match of the night, where it was your boy The Miz taking on your boy The Boogeyman.
Fuck you. Boogeyman, yes. Miz, no.
And this wasn't no veteran Miz who we came to know and in some point hate or some point love. This was rookie Miz.
This was annoying as hell, Miz.
With that stupid freaking faux hawk haircut and the whole hoorah freaking goddamn catchphrase. Thank God he doesn't say that now.
It never caught on.
Yeah. When you think of The Miz and the catchphrase, do you think of hoorah first or do you think of awesome first? I think of awesome first.
Hoorah!
Yeah, and that never caught. That one, yeah, that's so WWE Champion WrestleMania main event material right there. Not, right?
Yeah, but I like how they still had it as Mike Mizanin when he came out.
Yeah, Mike Mizanin, but everyone knows him better as The Miz.
No, they literally introduced him as The Miz, but then on his nameplate when they showed it was Mike Mizanin.
Mike Mizanin. We all know that's his actual name. Hi. Oh, God. Before the match even started after Miz's entrance, Miz cut a promo saying he's going to give Boogeyman a reality check, followed by his catchphrase that never caught on. We all know Miz was your boy back then, just like he is now. God damn, he's improved since then.
Nope. He's your boy.
It's like, nah, he's your boy.
Nope.
And yeah, it is. In the last fucking 18 years, fucking Miz has improved since then, so there's that. Right? And of course, Boogeyman made his entrance, and The Miz was hesitant to start the match to lock up with the Boogeyman, and he went to the... And then freaking, they had to do that close-up of Boogeyman with the worms hanging out of his mouth, of course.
Well, he was surprised because the Boogeyman came out. Literally. They hit his entrance when they were like, oh, and his opponent, and then Biz just shut the hell up and shit. He's like,
Boogeyman did manage to hit 2 clotheslines to The Miz, causing The Miz to just go outside and goes, oh, screw this. Right?
yeah.
And of course, the Boogeyman did manage to bring The Miz back into the ring over the top rope, forcing Miz back into the ring, followed by a clothesline and a body slam to Miz. Of course, Miz tried to battle, but...
You have to admit, the Boogeyman had more gyration than you did.
He has more gyration than you, bitch.
He has more gyration than you, asshole.
Miz managed to battle back and actually hit an arm breaker and a clothesline to Boogeyman for a 2 count. I'm surprised Miz even got that offense in this match. Right?
Yeah.
The Boogeyman then whipped Miz into the corner, only for the Miz to reverse a splash attempt by getting his boots up and drove it into Boogeyman's face.
Yeah.
And then Miz tried to do a top rope dive, but was caught by the neck by the Boogeyman, who hit a double arm choke slam to the Miz for the 3 counts.
Yep.
After the match, Boogeyman stuffed the worms into Miz's mouth. And yes, Boogeyman won this match. Your thoughts on this?
They needed more Boogeyman.
It didn't even need to be on the card, period.
Yes, it did.
Ugh. But then again, a Boogeyman match, what do you expect?
It needed to be a little bit longer.
We're dealing with a Boogeyman match here. It ain't gonna go very far. It ain't gonna go like for a long period. And Miz at this point was so green that he couldn't even carry like a long match at this point. He was still a rookie.
Yeah, but he was saying, "Oh, I'm undefeated."
I loved how JBL was tearing freaking Miz down on freaking commentary during this whole thing too.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole was kind of reluctantly agreeing, and it's just funny how Cole was saying that shit too, considering he'd be the one kissing Miz's ass years later.
Yep.
Anyway, we go backstage where we see Jillian and Layla getting ready for the contest. Like no one wanted to see that.
Yeah.
Of course, then we cut back. Then they go to the commentary to talk about the next match, which was a U.S. title match, and then they cut backstage to where Chavo and Vicky Guerrero were standing back there.
No.
And Chavo said he was dedicated this match to Vicky Guerrero. Right?
Uh-huh.
To which Vicky responded that Benoit abused her and injured her neck, followed by saying Benoit will get what's coming to him. I don't like to bring up the power of hindsight, but that's fucked up foreshadowing, by the way. And I ain't going into detail because we don't go into detail here. Everyone knows the story. Right? That would literally happen, less than a year after this. But we're not going into that in detail. We don't need to.
Yeah. I don't even think that was foreshadowing, though. That was just her being a bitch.
Well, you can chalk it up to her being a bitch, but with the power of hindsight, you can put 2 and 2 together and try to establish a messed up connection. Especially with some of this commentary that was said.
Yeah, but only you would come up with that shit.
There's probably a couple others watching this that probably thought that, hearing that. And of course, obviously the next match was for the U.S. title between the U.S. champion Benoit at the time defending against Chavo Guerrero with Vicky Guerrero in his corner. And then when freaking JBL was on commentary, mentioned that Benoit did the unexcusable, talking about Vicky's neck injury from the previous month's Survivor Series, but still scary foreshadowing there.
No.
I don't like to critique this match with the power of hindsight, but yeah, some of that shit kind of sounded eerie when talking about a Benoit match. Even though it was all a different story.
Coming up with hindsight, which there was no hindsight at the fucking time.
I mean, this was December of 2006, literally months, less than a year before that. Right?
Yes, but no one knew what was going to happen.
But anyway, getting on with it. To start off the match, Chavo attacked Benoit from behind before the referee could even ring the bell, thus starting the match that way with a pre-match assault.
Oh, Chavo was always a little bitch.
Chavo was just jealous that there was only one famous Guerrero in WWE, and it wasn't him.
Well, yeah. He had an Eddie complex.
Yeah, but then
Just like
again,
a certain superstar now, who is a version of him from Wish.com.
Chavo Guerrero is still better than Dominic.
Yep.
Of course, Benoit did battle back with chops, followed by a back body drop to Chavo. Shortly afterwards, Benoit was able to hit a snap suplex to Chavo for the 2 count.
Yep.
And then in the corner, Chavo did manage to fight back with a chop to Benoit. Only for Benoit to fight back and attempt to lock Chavo in the sharpshooter, but Chavo countered when he kicked his legs out and got out of the ring.
Yep.
And got up, Of course, then Benoit then launched Chavo over the top rope to the outside. At that point.
Yep.
Then with Chavo propped up on the barricade, Benoit came out there and chopped Chavo right there, followed by smashing Chavo's head into the ring apron before both men got back in the ring.
Let's just say it was a chop and smash fest.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. He was using freaking Chavo Guerrero like a set of drums. Right? Back in the ring, Benoit managed to hit 3 German suplexes to Chavo.
Yeah.
And then Benoit went to the top rope, only for Chavo to be a dick to Chris's Benoit's by crotching him on the top rope.
You say his Benoit's got Benoit?
I guess you can say that.
Or could you say his Benoit's got Chavoed?
I don't know. I think that's taking it too far. With this whole expression.
Chavo hit him in the Benoit, so he got Chavoed.
Yep, but anyway. Up on the top rope, Benoit managed to hit a bunch of vicious-looking headbutts to Chavo on the top rope, sending him off the top rope.
That was Benoit's go-to, is headbutt, 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 headbutt.
Of course, Chavo didn't manage to rebound and actually suplex Benoit from the top rope. And then Chavo was in control, including at one point hitting the bow and arrow stretch onto Benoit around the ring post, which, that looked nasty or painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when Benoit was still propped up on the ring post in the corner, Chavo got back in and then managed to hit a baseball slide onto Benoit onto the ring post.
Yeah.
Shortly afterwards, freaking Chavo went for the pin, only for a 2 count. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, Benoit then tried to get a little offense in when he got back on his feet, only for Chavo to freaking connect a drop toe hold to Benoit, followed by a modified chin lock hold to Benoit as well, wearing him down some more.
Yeah, your favorite move, the chin lock. The mighty fearsome chin lock.
I ain't gonna make any comments to that. If you know, you know, and if you don't, then, well, you gotta look up the Monday Night Wars. Am I right?
Just remember, everyone, he likes the mighty chin lock.
Yep. If you know, you know, and if you don't, then look up the Reliving the War series from Wrestling Bios. You'll know all about the chin lock. Am I right? You know I'm right. Anyway, Benoit managed about that modified chin lock with a backdrop, but Chavo reversed into a crossbody for a 2 count. Right?
Yeah.
So it was a reverse on top of a reverse. Right?
Yep.
Of course, Benoit then attempted to go for the crossface, but the hold was broken up when Chavo got his foot on the rope. Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Chavo then was able to hit 2 suplexes on Benoit for a 2 count. And then shortly afterwards, freaking Chavo put Benoit up on the top rope and then gave him the trio woes. thus meaning that Benoit was hung up in the rope, no pun intended, in the corner. And then Chavo was going for another baseball slide, but Benoit was able to get up and out of the way, which meant Chavo Guerrero was a dick to his own Guerreros.
He chavoed his own chavos.
Yeah, pretty much. Right.
Could you say Chavo was singing the chavos?
Yep. Of course, Chavo managed to get up shortly after that, and then he tried to do an electric chair slam onto Benoit, who he got off the top rope, but Benoit reversed it by getting off of Chavo's freaking back, landing on his feet, and then hit a chop. He hit a chop to freaking Chavo, but Chavo followed that up with a thumb to the eye. Right.
The mighty thumb to the eye.
Yeah, mighty thumb to the eye will put anybody down. And then
just like the finger poke of death.
Yeah, and then Chavo tried to do the three amigos, which were the three vertical suplexes, but after he hit, I think, at least one, Benoit reversed it into not one, not two, not three, hell, not four, but 8 German suplexes. And somewhere far, far away, Brock Lesnar had a big shit-eating grin on his face thinking about Suplex City.
This is before Suplex City.
Yeah, I know, but I had to add that joke in there after seeing 8 Germans in a goddamn row from Benoit. I was literally keeping count, too, when watching this.
Yeah, of course you were.
And then following all of those German suplexes, Benoit went to pin Chavo, and amazingly, by some miracle, Chavo kicked out at 2. No, he didn't kick out at 2, he got his foot on the rope, but either way. Right?
Yeah.
But either way, that's a miracle. 8 German suplexes will let anybody down, just ask Brock. Right?
Yep.
And of course, the end was near anyway, because Benoit locked the sharpshooter on Chavo, and right when Chavo looked like he was about to tap out, Vicky Guerrero got in the ring with the U.S. Championship belt in her hands, and then she acted like she was going to hit Benoit, which would cause the obvious disqualification. And while still having Chavo in the hold, he yelled out to Vicky, "Don't do it, don't do it." But then Benoit eventually freaking broke the hold anyway.
Yeah.
And then Vicky freaking cowered down to Benoit, and this was a part that was mildly disturbing to me. It's like Vicky cowered down, was on the mat. Benoit decided to grab her by the legs and attempt to do a sharpshooter on Vicky Guerrero. Thank God that never happened. Only for Chavo to roll him up, and even grab the tights, but all Chavo got there was a 2 count. And then Benoit freaking got the advantage again by reapplying the sharpshooter to Chavo, which resulted in Chavo Guerrero tapping out.
He tap, 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 like a little tap, tap, tap.
So the winner and still U.S. champion at this point was Chris Benoit. Your thoughts on this match?
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was alright. It wasn't by a technical standpoint, like a non-violent type match, I guess you would say it would be the match of the night, but other than that, it's not the match of the night overall. It was just a great, technical brawl between the two. Great little scrap between the two. That's what I feel like it was.
Yep.
So yeah, it wasn't the best match of the card, but it was passable as a pay-per-view match at this point.
Yep.
It's like backstage, we seen Ashley, God bless her soul, get ready for that lingerie contest as well.
Yep.
And I'm sorry here, but I am telling you right now, I am not judging that lingerie contest on nostalgia right now just because one of the contestants is no longer with us. I'm judging it for how I see it, right?
Yep.
And yeah, that was a tragic tale at the end when it comes to Ashley Massaro here. All right.
Yeah.
But anyway, we go back to the ring and we have our final championship match of the night, which was Gregory Helms, formerly known as the Hurricane, defending the Cruiserweight Championship against your boy, Jimmy Wang Yang. You got nothing to say to that?
Well, you like the Jimmy Wang Yang because you like the Yangy Yang Yangs, don't you, Yang Yang?
We all know you want Jimmy Wang's Yang's Wang. That's what you want.
Oh, I know you do.
You especially loved his goddamn theme song that came out, too. And his goddamn cowboy outfit. And you liked that cowboy outfit, too.
It was better than his TNA one that he had.
And why the hell am I talking like a southern accent? And a southern accent I don't know.
Because he wants to be part of the Fister clan.
No, that's you. You're already in that clan. Talk about him enough.
Just because I talk about it doesn't mean I'm in it. That's you.
And maybe when we're doing those retro reviews, and I'm talking about way back to the 90s when we see a Godwin match, maybe I should talk in this accent too.
Yeah, and then I'll be saying, yep, there's your Fister clan members.
Nope.
Yep.
Anyway, this match was for Gregory Helms' Cruiserweight Championship. Started off with Helms and Yang freaking exchanging shoves in the corner, and then both men exchanged both men exchanged the side headlock takeover. Why is that always common in these cruiserweight matches? I don't know.
Because the cruiserweights.
Yep. Then Helms managed to get freaking Yang into the corner and promptly decides to bitch slap Yang in the corner. Which Yang followed up by a bunch of punches and a crossbody to Helms. All right.
Yeah. Well, Helms was still in his heel phase.
Yeah. And then freaking Yang attempted the moonsault on the freaking Helms, but Helms ended up avoiding him by going to the outside when Yang just landed on his feet. Right?
Yeah.
Huh. And of course, back in the ring, freaking Helms was in control with kicks to Yang after Yang freaking chased him back into the ring. And then, of course, the whole spot that the heels do when the face chases him back in the ring, they start kicking at him when they were on the apron.
Yeah.
That's how Helms briefly got back in control. But it didn't last too much long because Yang battled back with a Hurricane Rana followed by a drop kick to Helms. Which that was pretty impressive to see.
Yeah.
And then then Yang managed a back body drop on Helms that resulted in a 2 count followed by a modified Kimura lock from Yang. If you notice that, I'm just like, huh. I didn't expect submission holds in a cruiserweight match, did you?
Well, that's what a lot of them did was submissions, high flying.
Yeah, and I say this literally a week after we talked about that awesome Guerrero Mysterio WCW match, okay? And there was similar down holds in that one from last week that we saw.
Yep.
Then Helms did manage to battle back and actually hit a baseball slide to Yang into the barricade. Alright. So Yang was on the outside and Helms hit a baseball slide onto him, which sent him into the barricade. Alright.
Why does everyone have to do a baseball slide?
I don't know. That's how many baseball slides moves did we see in this event already up to this point? Too many?
A lot.
Yeah, I know. And then back in the ring, Helms did hit a neck breaker on the Yang. Actually, no. Helms hit a neck breaker on the Yang on the outside and then brought Yang back in the ring for a 2 count. Which I'm like, okay, this match continues. Helms is on the offensive. And Helms delivered a back elbow to Yang as well. And Helms also hit a backbreaker on the Yang for another 2 count. Right? At this point, Helms was like in total control, but then Yang did manage to battle back with a back body drop to Helms to the outs. Managed to back body drop Helms to the outside, followed by a flying cross body. And then flying cross body and back in the ring. Yang managed to pin freaking Helms for a 1 count, even though the announcer said it was 2.
Yeah.
I only saw the ref count 1 and then the kick out. After that,
No, he hit twice for a 2 count because I saw his hand going down again. He hit the mat and it was a kick out.
Yeah, but
So it was
all
like-
I heard was 1.
It was like a 1 1/4 or 1 3/4 of a hit to the mat before he kicked out. So you could technically say it was a 1 count, but it was technically a 2 count.
Well, it was technically 1 count, technically wasn't. Either way, it was either a 1 or 2 count, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, no, like I said, his hand was going down to hit the mat. He was, I think, 3/4 of the way down,
Yeah.
or something like that.
So 1 in...
Right when Helms kicked out. So that's why I was saying
So
it
basically...
was technically a 1, but you could also say it was technically a 2.
So yeah, it was 1 and 15/16.
Yes.
If you want to call it that. Right?
Yes.
Of course, Helms did battle back when he slingshotted Yang onto the top rope. Huh. And then freaking Helms freaking put Yang into a sleeper, but Yang freaking countered that into a roll-up for a 2 count. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a clothesline from... Yeah, and then freaking Yang hit a clothesline to Helms out of the corner. So, yeah, Yang was in the corner. He hit him with a clothesline running out of the corner there.
Yep.
Yeah, and then freaking Yang managed to hit another clothesline and a back body drop to Helms. Of course, then Yang went for a heel kick, but that was heel kick in the corner. Yeah, actually, no, yeah. Yang hit a heel kick in the corner, followed by a drop kick to Helms for a 2 count. At this point, this was truly back before the fans were into it. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, Helms managed to fight back because Yang was on the top rope, and then Helms got up there and managed to hit a swinging neck breaker from the top rope to Yang for another also, which I thought looked impressive. Right?
Yep.
And of course, Helms went up to the top rope, and he went for a flying nothing, which Yang then caught, and then which caught him with a heel kick for another 2 count out of midair.
Yeah.
The reason I say flying nothing because he didn't look like he was trying to hit any move jumping off that rope. Like we all see, that's what we knew was going to get countered. Right?
Yep.
And then freaking Helms was down. And Yang went up to the top rope for the corkscrew moonsault, which I assume was his finisher at the time. But it was reversed when freaking Helms got out of the way. Followed with Helms hitting the Nightmare on Helm Street, which was the flying knee smash that he did.
The Shining Wizard.
No, the Shining Wizard was different. This was him running into the opponent and freaking smashing their face into his knee.
Well, that's what the Shining Wizard basically was. He just renamed it.
He renamed it the Nightmare on Helm Street. A take on the Nightmare on Elm Street, whatever you want to call it. And he got the win with it for a 3 when he had Yang in the roll-up position afterwards.
Yeah, he renamed the Shining Wizard to the Nightmare on Helm Street because when he turned heel, he renamed it basically his whole fucking moveset.
Yep. So the winner of this match and still Cruiserweight Champion Gregory Helms. Your thoughts on this Cruiserweight title match, by the way?
Was it Gregory? Was it Helms' freaking greatest match? No.
Was it his worst? No. Was it a good Cruiserweight match on this card? Yes.
Was it Jimmy Wang Yang's best? No. Was it his worst? No. He had many other opportunities at different titles.
But yeah, I thought this match was good for what it was. Great little showing from the cruiserweights here.
Yep.
And then we go on to what is perhaps probably the match that this pay-per-view is mostly remembered for, or the second of the big two matches this pay-per-view is remembered for.
The last ride match, the most horrible, second most horrible match in WWE history.
Yes, this is the last ride match, the second of only two last ride matches so far in history, and this was between Mr. Kennedy and The Undertaker.
Yep.
JBL was obviously doing commentary for this. During the whole pay-per-view, he even said himself that the last ride match was the one who took years off his career when he fought Taker and won. A couple years prior to this.
It took years off of him because he also had psychological damage because of you fight The Undertaker, you hit him with your best shot, he still fucking gets up.
Yep. So yeah, Mr. Kennedy does his typical entrance, and then afterwards the microphone lowers from the dang ceiling, and that brought back nostalgia when he cut his little promo and his little entrance for himself before the match.
From Greenway, Wisconsin, weighing 235 pounds, Mr. Kennedy!
Yeah. So that was a little nostalgic for me to see. I'm like, the potential this guy could have had. Right?
Well, he may be coming back as well.
Yeah, I know. I heard those rumors, but I'm a guy who believes it when I see it.
Well, if they do, he has a lot of potential that they kind of wasted.
Yeah, all because of what happened a couple years after this, but we can discuss that at the end of this match. I just want to get through this.
No, I'm just saying if he does come back, they have a lot of his potential that they wasted that he could actually fucking do. That's all I was saying.
Yep. But anyway, yeah, I mean, at this point, Kennedy, the story going into this, Kennedy had two pay-per-view wins over The Undertaker, both by controversial decision. Controversy, right? First time was at the 2006 No Mercy when Kennedy got a victory over Taker by DQ. Well, this probably spoiling shit. We'll review them at some point in depth. And then the next one was a Survivor Series in that first blood match these two had the month prior to this, which Kennedy won all due to interference from MVP. And the match was set for a last ride match here. Right?
Yep.
Between the two to settle the score. And yeah, I did like on how one of the episodes of SmackDown freaking Kennedy got drenched in a bloodbath. They showed that in the package.
Yeah.
Remind me of the old Brood days, you know what I mean? Anyway, to start the match off, at the start of the match, Kennedy actually runs away from Taker in the early going. Because he's like, nope, screw this, I'm done, I'm out, right?
Yep.
It's like, yeah, but then Taker then freaking goes after Kennedy and rams him head first into the steel steps, followed by Kennedy getting tossed into the Spanish announce table by Taker.
Yep.
And I'm just like, well, we're about to see Taker kick someone's ass, if that's his offense real quick.
Well, technically it was a one-side beatdown because Kennedy had stood no fucking chance.
Well, Kennedy did manage to battle back during some point, so it wasn't a total 100% sided brawl.
That's why I said technically a one-sided beatdown.
And then when Kennedy was up on the announce table, on the Spanish announce table, Taker decided, you know what? Table's taking enough abuse. For once, I'm going to feel sorry for it. So I'm just going to launch this boy from the announce table to the ring apron. which is exactly what he did. And we all know the ring apron's the hardest part of the ring, like we stated earlier.
Right? He's all like, well, I've already beat him enough with this table. Let's human missile him.
Into the ring apron. Ow. Right? It's like back in the ring, Taker chokes freaking Kennedy in the corner. Right?
Yep.
And then Taker then goes for the big boot on Kennedy, who moves out of the way in the corner.
Yep.
He didn't want to be totally dominated. And then Kennedy freaking tries to go some offense by hitting a crossbody on Taker onto the outside, but Taker catches him, then proceeds to ram Kennedy into the ring post. Like a goddamn long dart.
Well, he fucking snake eyes him right into the fucking ring post.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Long darted him, freaking rammed him, snake eyes him. It's same move. All right.
He did a lot. He beat the shit out of the fool.
Of course, Kennedy managed to fight back, including the first time when Kennedy and Taker made their way to the hearse on the rampway.
Yeah.
And then Kennedy freaking smacked the Undertaker's head on the back door, and then Kennedy attempted to put the Undertaker into the hearse by opening the door and trying to put Taker into it,
And then a big boot to the face.
Oh yeah, only for Taker to reverse it by kicking Kennedy with his boot. Right? Oh yeah,
yep.
And let me reiterate before we go further. The only way to win a last ride match is to put your opponent in the hearse and then drive that hearse out of the arena.
Yeah.
So it's not like an ambulance match where you just put your opponent in the vehicle and shut the door. You actually have to physically drive it out too.
It's worse than an ambulance match.
Yeah, so you got double duty here to win. Right?
Yeah. Technically, it's a no-hold barred, but you have to drive outside the arena.
Yes. Last ride match. Let's just go out and say it. They should unofficially say, yep, the last ride match, the only way to win is to kill your opponent.
Basically.
Professionally, not literally. Right? More like incapacitate him and drive him out. Right?
You mean metaphorically?
Metaphorically, not friggin' literally.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what the stipulation for this match is. Of course, Kennedy and Taker made their way back to the ringside where Taker draped Kennedy on the ring apron and hit that leg drop that he's known for onto Kennedy. After punching him and kicking him a bunch of times.
He also did a fucking knee lift on his ass.
Yes. Including one...
Before he did the leg drop. That was fucking new for people that didn't know Undertaker in matches. He freaking literally ran and did a knee lift on the back of his head.
Yeah, and that looked nasty. No wonder freaking Kennedy suffered many concussions in his career. All right?
Yeah, you're getting hit full force by the freaking 7-foot fucking Undertaker.
Yep. Yeah, and then Kennedy tried to get back in the ring, and for some reason, Kennedy had his freaking both of his legs, like, he had like the bottom rope between his legs, so Taker decided, I'm gonna be a dick to Kennedy's by crunching Kennedy on the bottom rope.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a dick to Ken Kennedy's.
Yes. Well, that was Mr. Kennedy's full ring name was Ken Kennedy. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, and then freaking short time later, Undertaker put Kennedy on the top rope and suplexed him off the top rope, putting him down, right?
Yeah.
Of course, the real action really happens around the hearse. So the Undertaker and Kennedy fought right back to the hearse, where Kennedy did get the upper hand for a tiny bit by putting Taker in the sleeper hold.
The Undertaker was carrying him like a freaking lawn dart, and then Kennedy's like, oh, nope, I'm going to reverse it by wiggling, wiggle.
Into sleeper hold on the dead man. And then freaking looked like Taker was out. So Kennedy freaking pulled the Undertaker and put him in the back of the hearse and shut the back door.
Yep.
Of course, Kennedy then attempted to drive out of the hearse for the arena, only for Taker to grab Kennedy by the throat as soon as he opened the driver's door, thus blocking the attempt.
The thing is that Kennedy was in there. He started to feel like he hits the gas, they rev the engine, and then Undertaker just sits back up and then drags his ass right to the back.
No, that was the first time. That was the second time. This is the first time we've seen it attempted. Yeah, so the Undertaker grabbed Kennedy by the throat, and then they went back to the ringside, where Taker threw Kennedy into the steel chairs propped up near the timekeeper area. Right? We'll get to party time by a minute. Right? I honestly thought I was going to say that too until I realized, wait, this is the first attempt, right? Yep. And then Kennedy then managed to take one of them steel chairs and nail the Undertaker in the ribs of the steel chair 5 times, followed by Kennedy smacking the Undertaker in the back and the head twice with the steel chair in the ring.
Yep.
Steel chair shot to the head. It's like, I'll take things we'll never see in WWE in the year 2024 for $500, Alex.
Well, technically, he didn't really hit him in the head. He bent over, so he technically got hit in the back of the neck.
It's like, yeah, but speaking of headshots, we'll see a nasty one later on. All right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and then Taker and Kennedy make their way past the hearse with Kennedy running off, right?
Yep.
They make their way past the hearse, and they ended up climbing to the top of one of the Armageddon stage sets that they had there for the entranceway.
Yep.
And then they do battle, and then Taker and Kennedy did battle on top of the freaking Armageddon set with, exchanging blows left and right.
Yep.
Meaning punches. By the way, get your mind out of the gutter. But then the Undertaker then attempted to go for a choke slam onto Kennedy, only for Kennedy to reverse it. To reverse that choke slam attempt, and then Kennedy proceeded to throw Taker off the Armageddon set.
Yeah, you think that will do him in, right?
Yeah, you think that'll do him in? You're wrong. And of course, freaking Taker looked like he was down and out. So Kennedy got off the Armageddon set and he started dragging Taker to the hearse because, the match is still going on.
Yeah.
And then Kennedy gets the Undertaker into the back of the hearse and shuts the door. Then Kennedy freaking got in the hearse and he started it up, was about to leave the arena, but Kennedy forgot one crucial thing. Just one minor little detail that kind of fucked him. You can't kill what's already dead.
Undertaker.
You can't kill what's already dead. Right?
Exactly.
So right when he fired the hearse up, the Undertaker just sat up in the back of the hearse and started attacking Kennedy, preventing Kennedy from driving off.
Yeah, no, that was funny as hell because it's like, I'm just gonna start the engine, rev the gas, boing.
Yep.
Hello there, boy.
Hello.
And he just literally grabs him in the back of the neck and just keeps dragging his ass through the back of the hearse.
Yep. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'll do that. Bye. Yeah, but then, sorry about it. But then afterwards, Taker and Kennedy got out of the freaking hearse. And then the Undertaker hit Kennedy with a bunch of lefts and rights while Kennedy was leaning up against the back of the hearse. Right? And then Taker proceeded to grab a steel chair that was near the hearse, right?
Yeah.
And then Taker proceeded to deliver one nasty, probably the nastiest chair shots I've ever seen. But he hit Kenny in the back first. Right? Actually, no, he hit Kenny in the back first with a steel chair. We'll get to that devastating chair shot in a minute. I forgot. I'm jumping the gun. And then Taker attempted to take Kennedy out with a steel pipe shot to the head, only for Kennedy to duck out of the way, causing Taker to shatter the back of the window of the hearse. And then it was at this point
Taker... It looked like it shattered. It looked like it only did a dent.
Yep. But then Taker then proceeded to freaking take that same chair that he used on Kennedy's back and deliver the nastiest looking headshot I've ever seen with it, thus busting Kennedy open. Like a damn watermelon.
Yep, and then Undertaker proceeded to fist him.
That's a fancy way. That's a fancy way of you saying he punched him in the head after he busted him open.
Yes.
Yeah, and then while Kennedy was propped up, dazed on the freaking hearse, freaking Taker hit him with a big boot, knocking him down again.
And then proceededly hitting him with the fists again.
Yep. And then shortly after Taker got tired of that, he actually looked up. He actually looked at the hearse. He goes, "Hey, I just thought of something that could be way more fun to do." So he proceeded to drag Kennedy and put him on the roof of the hearse.
Yep.
Which then, on the roof of the hearse, Taker proceeded to chokeslam Kennedy onto the roof.
Yep. And then he did the most devastating move. The tombstone.
Oh, wait. So Taker did the most devastating move up there, the surprise rope? I don't see that in my notes anywhere. I'm just kidding. Freaking Taker then hit a tombstone onto Kennedy onto the roof of the hearse.
Yes.
And then afterwards, when Kennedy was down, Undertaker then put Kennedy into the back of the hearse, shut the door, and then proceeded to drive the hearse out of the arena.
Yep.
Thus signifying that the Undertaker won the match.
Yep.
Your thoughts on this fucking brawl, whatever you want to call it. This legal, metaphoric legal death that we just seen.
Well, JBL summed it up fucking perfectly when he was saying it literally took years off his career and he could not recover mentally at all because when he fought him in the first last ride match,
yeah,
that he literally hit him with everything he had. He hit him with the kitchen sink and everything. And the Undertaker still got back up.
Yep. It's like this match was brutal, it was violent, and it lived up to expectations that everyone had for this kind of match back then.
Yep.
Was it the best Undertaker match I've seen? Nope. Was it the worst? No, but does it rank up there? Yes. That's all I got to say about that. Right?
Yep.
Then we go backstage to where Finlay and King Booker reassure that they are not going to double cross each other respectively. Whatever the heck that was about, right?
Well, because they were screwing each other over prior to the matches because they broke up their alliance that they had.
Yep.
And then they were screwing each other over, which led to the match with him tagging up with Booker T versus Batista and John Cena.
Yep. God, why do I gotta talk about this? Can we just skip the next thing that we're supposed to talk about and just go to the main event and call it good, please?
No.
I don't want to talk about this.
Too bad!
Fine. But your fault when I fucking take the piss out of it. Which you know I will. Be warned.
All it was Santa Claus coming out, then introducing Crystal,
Yes.
Layla.
It was
Julian,
Crystal, Lael, Julian Hall, and Ashley Massaro.
And then just them showing off the lingerie, and then the crowd saying who's the best, and there's like, the crowd saying, oh, everyone's the best. Okay, everyone wins. JBL said, oh, yep, just like I thought. And then he's like, oh, then hit my music, and then he's all stripping, and then he's like, and then all of a sudden, all you see is Big Dick Johnson.
Now,
dancing in the ring, Crystal leaves. Layla is dancing up and kind of grinding on him. And then Jamie Doll's like, oh, Layla's a chubby chaser. And then they're just dancing outside the ring. That's it. End of segment.
Yep. Okay, that's your take on it. Now here's my take on it.
That's the whole take.
Well, here's my take on it. Here's my goddamn notes, and it's my goddamn channel, and I'll review it. I'm gonna say my notes, what I wrote down.
I did it better. You lose. Next.
Who cares? Who cares? Yes, it was the Little Helpers fucking lingerie contest. I don't give a fuck about this. Santa Claus makes his way to the ring, like you said. Introduce the freaking contestants here. And then I wrote down, do I seriously have to review this bullshit I'm seeing? It's not what I signed up for. But then again, I did review freaking Michael Cole matches. So I think I knew what I was getting myself into to start with. Right?
You're the one that picked this.
It's like one by one, the contestants reveal their damn lingerie, which that was a waste of pay-per-view time.
Well, and also Michael Cole said, yes, I like plaid. And he's like, well, you like Highlanders, don't you?
And then I'm just like, I don't care what they were wearing. I didn't give a shit about that. It seemed like the crowd was live crowd was enjoying it at the time. But I'm not. This is total utter shit and waste of pay-per-view time. And then I wrote, makes me
good for what it was.
Then I wrote, makes me appreciate women's wrestling today compared to this crap. Yeah, and then apparently
it was good for what it was.
And then apparently the fans decided the winner by whoever got the loudest cheers, which, let's face it, Ashley would have won that. Not that anyone gave a fuck, really. And then
that wasn't really the segment. It was just them showing off how hot the divas were.
Yeah,
at the point, then they. Because that's all they really had them doing was really showing off eye candy.
Yeah, but because freaking Santa Claus freaking said everyone wins, that means in reality the segment went to no contest. But no one really cared. I don't really give a fuck. And then after the match, of course, Santa Claus strips, revealing he was Big Dick Johnson. Yeah, fuck this trash.
I liked it.
I really didn't. If I wanted to see that kind of stuff, there's other websites for that. I don't need to see that in wrestling.
Like I said, he's afraid of the Johnson's Johnson.
And for those of you who don't know who Big Dick Johnson is, good for you. I wish I didn't. But if you must know, imagine...
Big Dick Johnson is me.
But if you really must have a visual, just imagine Speedo Chad from the Friday the 13th game, but fatter. That's what Big Dick Johnson looked like.
He was a stripper.
And for God's sake, Riptidz, don't you ever become one. No one wants to see that.
Strip!
No, you would be a reverse stripper where people would have to throw money at you to put your clothes back on. That's what you would be. I'd be like, here's $100, put it all back on. Then we go on to our main event. Which, thank God for that, am I right?
Yep.
And then we got King Book. It was a team of King Booker and Finley with Queen Charmel in their corner. And Little Bastard, if you want to count Little Bastard. Which we all know is Hornswoggle, by the way.
You mean the little leprechaun?
Yes. And they were taking on the team of the WWE Champion John Cena and World Heavyweight Champion Batista, and obviously a non-title tag team match.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and I just want to note this. During King Booker's entrance, Charmel was on the microphone the whole time, yelling, "All hail King Booker!"
That's all she really did during his King Booker's phase is just literally yelling,
yes, I know.
"All hail King Booker! All hail King Booker! All hail King Booker!"
Yes. But that's not why I noted. Why I pointed that out is during one point she got into like a fan's face. Fan probably was a kid or a teenager or whatever. She yelled that in his face, and the fan responded with the middle finger to her face, which made me laugh. You would have noticed that in the entrance. All right.
Yep.
Anyway, after all four participants made their entrances, Matt started off with Cena with an arm drag to Booker, followed by Booker taking advantage in the corner with knee strikes and punches.
Yep.
Yeah, but then Cena freaking bowed back with another arm drag to Booker, and then freaking Cena, then shortly afterwards, Cena tagged in Batista, which Booker wanted no part of Batista because of their ongoing story at the time.
Yeah.
Booker tagged in Finlay right away immediately after that.
Yep.
And then Batista caught, and then Finlay tried to freaking do like some kind of move off the top rope, and then Batista caught him, and he put Finlay down and then slaps him. Right?
Yep.
Humiliating freaking Finlay in the process. You know, I think Finlay is was a freaking veteran of like 15 plus years at this point. Or more, right?
There's more.
I think he was more like a 20, 25-year veteran at this point in his career.
Yeah.
Before he became a full-time backstage trainer and booker. Right?
Yeah, well, he was Finlay, the man who loved to fight.
Yep. I mean, for those of you who want an idea of how Finlay was back in his heyday in the 80s and 90s, just think Gunther, but back then. That's how Finlay was. No nonsense and just love to fight. Am I right?
He was Smash Mouth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Before Smash Mouth was even a thing.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the band Smash Mouth. I'm talking full-on fisticuff, bash you in the face, and still kick fucking sandcastles at you and steal your girlfriend.
Yes. In other words, he was putting bangers on in his heyday.
Yes.
Kind of like how Gunther does
He was
now.
still putting bangers on before he retired.
Yep. Kind of like how Gunther does now in the current day and age. Anyway, slingshot. Yeah, and then a slingshot into a backbreaker from Batista onto Finlay. And then Batista hit a modified suplex on Finlay from the top rope. But then Booker broke up the pin attempt at the 2 count.
Yep.
And then Booker got the tag shortly afterwards, and then Booker proceeded to chop Batista in the corner, and then Booker then Batista kicked out, or Batista freaking goddamn tagged out, and then Booker kicked Cena in the jaw for a 2 count with a sidekick that he does.
Yep.
Then Cena then battled back and hit a bulldog, followed by the 5-knuckle shuffle to Booker. And then Cena attempted the FU. Yes, it was called the FU before the freaking attitude adjustment. But it was countered by Booker, which then Cena immediately applied the STFU onto Booker, only for Finlay to break it up. And yes, it was also called the STFU before it was renamed back just the STF to be more family friendly. Right?
Yeah, but I hope that they go back to when they switch over to Netflix in literally just a couple months.
And for anyone who knows what the abbreviations for FU means and STFU means, then good for you. And if you don't worry about it. Right?
No, look it up. Be educated. Do not be sheep.
Yep. Yeah, and then Batista then took Finlay out after Finlay freaking broke off that pin attempt. Yeah, and then Booker was, and Cena were on the outside. Booker was on the outside and he hit Cena in the throat with the scepter while the referee was distracted. typical heels trying to cheat to win.
Yep.
And then back in the ring, freaking Booker did hit a heel kick on the Cena for a 2 count.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, Finlay applied a chinlock, and I swear to God, Cena is the most powerful man when it comes to the chinlock, because he powered right out of that maneuver, only to be clotheslined by Finlay.
Yeah.
And then the referee was distracted once again by Batista when Little Bastard, or Hornswoggle, tried to interfere by kicking Cena in the ribs while the referee was distracted, only for Cena to move out of the way, resulting in Swoggle kicking himself in the head.
Yep.
Which I thought was funny as hell to see. Right? Hornswoggle always knew how to be the comedy character.
Well, Hornswoggle was the comedy relief before he started doing wrestling. WrestleMania
23?
24?
23, 24, somewhere now.
I think it was 24.
Well, I know Swoggle was the last Cruiserweight champion in 07, but we're not talking about that event right now. But anyway, Cena then battled back and actually hit a DDT on Booker. Right?
Yeah.
And then Cena was slowly crawling to Batista for the hot tag, which he managed to get the hot tag on Batista, who hit a running power slam on Finlay, followed by a spear on Booker and a spear on Finlay, respectively.
Yep.
Afterwards, Batista, and then Finlay and Booker tried to freaking fight back. Of course, Batista overpowered them, resulting in Batista throwing Booker into the corner, and then Batista threw Finlay into the corner, into Booker as well.
Yeah.
Making the two partners accidentally hit each other. But Finlay got the upper hand shortly afterwards by attacking Batista, getting the momentum back, momentarily. And he was setting Batista up for some kind of double team attack. Probably was holding Batista in place to get kicked in the head by Booker, which Booker went for that heel kick. Batista then ducked, and Booker accidentally hit Finlay with the heel kick instead.
Yep.
And of course, on the outside, freaking Finlay didn't manage to hit a clothesline on Cena, followed by Finlay hitting Batista with a chair in the corner, like hitting his leg with it.
Yeah.
But in the end, it did not matter, because despite having a little bit of an opening, Booker couldn't capitalize, and Batista hit a spine buster on Booker, followed by the Batista bomb on the Booker.
Well, he tried to hit the Batista bomb the first time after the spine buster, but it was kind of being interfered by Finlay, and then John Cena went and did a belly-to-belly to him.
Yeah, and then shortly after that, Batista was able to hit the Batista bomb on the Booker for the 3 count.
Yep.
And the winners of the match were obviously W Champion Cena and World Champion Batista. Was there any doubt of who's going to win this particular tag match? So what do you think about this tag team main event?
It could have gone either way, really, if Booker T and Finlay could have been on the same page. But when Finlay said, "Oh, I'll be fine. I have the luck of the Irish, and you only have Charmel," that kind of got underneath his skin.
Yep.
So he wasn't really totally focused on the tag match, really.
Yeah. But anyway, now that we discussed, the match, it's somewhat in depth and everything. Look through that and the winners and everything. Now we get to go to what I always say is our favorite part of these reviews, and that's our rating system. Kane defeating MVP in that Inferno match opener. I give that 4.5 out of 5.
5.
You give it a solid 5, close enough. All right. I thought it was good either way. Either way, it was great way to open the show. Yep, and London and Kendrick retaining the WWE Tag Team Championships in that fatal 4-way ladder match, which unfortunately also happened to be when Joey Mercury got his face destroyed.
5.
Other than that, I say 4 out of 5. I say 4.5 out of 5. Same score as the last one.
5.
I swear to God, if you give a 5 to the next one, if you give a 5 out of 5 to the next match, I'm gonna ask where the heck your morals lie. It's like Boogeyman defeating The Miz in that short match. I give it freaking, it's like I give it 1/4 out of 5.
5.
You better be lying when you say that.
I give it a 4 out of 5.
Why a 4? You said that match was shit earlier.
I didn't say it was shit.
You said it was
You
crap
said
earlier.
it was shit.
You said
I found it enjoyable.
Well, mine has a realistic freaking 1/4 star out of 5. Okay.
I actually liked it when the Boogeyman beat the shit out of the Miz. It could have been longer,
Yep.
but other than that, it was actually a decent match because the Miz was saying, "Oh, I beat your fear challenge," and then he had to face the Boogeyman.
Yeah. Yeah, and then next, Chris Benoit defeating Chavo Guerrero with Vicky Guerrero in his corner to retain the United States Championship. I give that
4.
one 3 3/4 out of 5.
I give it 4.
Pretty much almost the same. All right. And then Gregory Helms defeating your boy Jimmy Wang Yang to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. I give that 3 3/4 out of 5.
3.5.
About the same, right? The Undertaker defeating Mr. Kennedy in that last ride match. 5 out of 5, no doubt.
1,000 out of 5.
It's pretty much the same as mine. That's Santa's Little Helpers lingerie contest with no winner. Match rating to me, trash.
Great.
Why did you keep
Awesome.
saying 5? So yeah, the lingerie contest, I give the match ratings trash out of 5. Not even a 0, just a trash.
I give it a 5. Great segment. Very interesting.
And of course, the main event with Batista and John Cena defeating King Booker and Finlay with Sharmell, I give that 3 out of 5.
I give it a 4.5.
Yep. So my overall grade for Armageddon 2006 is a B. With the top matches being matches I would recommend being the Inferno match and the Last Ride match. But if you want to see someone's face get destroyed for real, the ladder match. Now,
Give it an A.
No, yeah, you gave it an A. I only gave it a B because of the whole Miz and Boogeyman match I didn't like, plus that lingerie contest waste of time. So if there was one match you would recommend from this Armageddon card, which one would it be?
Last ride match.
Last ride match for sure. Yep. So anyway, that was our thoughts. That was our thoughts on Armageddon 2006. Now, this Sunday we got the Crown Jewel pay-per-view review video going up. That'll be airing on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, it'll air Saturday.
But it'll be uploaded on Sunday.
Yeah.
At time of recording. So, you got a choice, Riptides. You can either tell us what next week's review is going to be after Crown Jewel right now, or you can just wait until the end of Crown Jewel's review to tell us. So what's your pick?
Oh, I'm gonna make everyone anticipate it. It's gonna be after Crown Jewel.
Oh God, fuck, Lord help me.
Fear my choice. It could be Heroes of Wrestling. It could be King of the Ring. It could be Starcade. It could be another Halloween Havoc. It could be
It could be any of these crap shows you're thinking of.
it could be Survivor Series. It could be
Any event.
December to Dismember. It could be any of the above.
It could be any crappy event you can think of to torture me with.
It could be another WCW match.
Could be an ECW show. We don't know.
Exactly. Or it could be Heroes of Wrestling.
You make me review that piece of fucking shit, I swear to God I'm going to have to take a month off. But anyway, so I guess we're just going to have to wait until after Crown Jewel to know what next week's freaking retro review will be. So until
Or
then...
it could be Crown Jewel.
Oh God, no, I've never seen that Crown Jewel main event. I never fucking want to. And you know
the Crown Jewel I'm talking about.
You know the specific year that I'm talking about or referencing when I say that. Fuck that shit. As far as I'm concerned, Michael's last match was in 2010, not 2018. You make me review that shit, I'm still gonna fucking say it. That match never happened. But anyway, until then, I guess this is good. I guess we're just gonna be peacing out for now, and we'll see you in the next review, which is Crown Jewel 2024. Peace.
Remember, everyone, beware my choice. It could be cringe.
Lord help me.